Well, all right.
What's up?
Uh, that is a half of football, if that is what you want to call it. I'm about to get our graphic up here in just a second for the score, but does it really matter? Tennessee just got their teeth kicked in by Florida. It's complete embarrassment. It was pathetic. It was impotent. I don't know. I could go on for a really long time about this, but this is the Big Orange Game Day halftime reaction show. What's up, Crump? How you doing?
What's up?
Uh, Not doing so
I'm
hot.
just I'm just curious. I'm just curious on how many it's all Milton's fault comments we're gonna get
Oh,
because
it's gonna be
considering
so many. It's gonna
I'm
be
just
so
I'm
many.
just curious. I can't. I'm actually slightly excited to
Well,
to see to see those comments and it's never mind. We'll get into it.
I gotta tell you first. While everybody's rolling in here about our great sponsors for this halftime, thank goodness for them. They keep the show going. BetterHelp. Go to BetterHelp.com/ATOZ sports and save 10% on your first month with BetterHelp and Zen Sports, the fastest growing sportsbook in Tennessee. Use code A to ZTN to get 5% cash back on your total betting volume for your first 15 days of betting. Thanks to them. Talk us off the ledge, Crump. Because
I
I mean,
mean,
obviously, everybody in these comments is going to go, it's all Milton, it's all Milton, it's all Milton, but
I'm
or it's all defense, it's all defense, it's all defense. How is there any way to feel good about this at all?
no. Obviously, there's no really way to feel good about it and just calling it like it is. But the harsh reality is our secondary's playing like boo boo. This is a nice way I can put it. Um, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be politically correct here. I mean, on the 62-yard run, what's Haddon doing, man? You're just gonna shoulder him and then trip and fall over. Like you wrap him up, tackle. You never know. Who knows? They may score at 4 plays later. They may not, but they don't get an easy walk-in 62-yard touchdown with our safety coming down, clearly looking like he closed his eyes and just did one of these and fell forward. And then, how do you pronounce his name? Is it Haddon, number 5?
Kamal Haddon. Yep, Kamal Haddon.
Yeah, I mean, what did I say last week? He's a liability. I've said it multiple times. So, and on the same run, now listen, I understand it. Filling the alley by the safety is always difficult. I'm not saying it's not, but you're an SEC safety. You got to make that play. But if you don't make the play, and but you shouldered him and gave him you gave him more momentum. You didn't even try to wrap him up.
Oh.
You ducked your head. So those things are what I'm upset about. We can't score points if we're not on the goddamn field. And I know that we always are going to be outnumbered in the number of plays. I get that. But dude, they've had 14 or was it 13 to 15? So we'll call it 14-yard or 14 play drives. Obviously, no, we can't give them a first and goal. But you know what? Our right tackle is getting his ass kicked. It's as nice as way I can put it.
So bad. It's so bad.
So we can sit here and blame it on the quarterback all day long because that's the easiest thing to do in football. But guess what, guys? We had to bench our center already. Let's let that sink in. We've already pulled our backup center because of how bad he's been playing.
Yep.
Right? We've had multiple 1st and 15s because our O-line just keep jumping off sides or the center just blatantly moves the ball. So we can sit here and point fingers at everybody, but we just got to settle down. I mean, Jesus. Actually, the corners stop when Mertz gets out there and scrambles or on just an actual bootleg. Stop drifting inside. Stop. They're running comebacks, in case you're wondering. That means they're coming back to the outside. So that's the stuff that I see. We're getting our rear end kicked up front on both sides of the ball. Both sides, offense and defense. Their front 4 on defense and their offensive line are whooping the piss out of us.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. And so that's where I'm going with, like, is it salvageable? Yeah, but we really needed to try to get some points on that last drive because we get the ball at half. It would have made it a little easier. Is it unattainable to come back? No, it's not, but it's tough now.
I'll start here. I mean, yeah, both lines are getting dominated, and I think that's the core problem. And it's really sad. Honestly, the correct word's pathetic. It's just really just been a sad effort all the way around. This is the question I would throw to you before we go to this segment, this Better Health segment. Uh, I mean, how how are we supposed to feel about? I mean, you said it right there. Tennessee needed to go and try to score because you're getting the ball back after the half. And Heupel on 3rd and 20, as the end of the half is approaching, he goes check down, draw play, and just kind of flies the white flag. And
but
I don't get that call at all.
No, well, see, I do. You got to understand from the coaching side, when you're right, when both tackles, right and left, are getting their rear ends kicked, you can't drop back, especially on a pin your ears back 3rd and 20, where the DNs are going to rush and look for a sack fumble. I understand the call. I don't like that we're in the situation. Does that make sense? Like, so I'm saying I don't like the call because I don't like the situation, but I understand the call because if you look at the previous plays, he takes a 2-step drop and he's getting hit.
Yep.
It's just what it is. We can't get any movement up front to run the ball. Like I've said multiple times, we are a run first team. Run first, and we have 30 rush yards. 30. We're 3 yards a carry right now. That's not conducive to Tennessee being successful. Right.
Well,
I'll say this. Going off of the defense earlier, I have been in the past. Last year we talked about, this guy, we got to get rid of this guy. We got to get rid of this guy, blah, 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 blah. I'm just wondering at what point do we look in the mirror and go, we're not getting any better on defense in the SEC? I don't know. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm starting to go with. Like, I love schematics. We can do that all day long, but we're not producing any better defensively, especially in the secondary.
Yeah.
The front seven, I give them credit. We get creative. We do. But in the secondary, we are very below average.
Yes.
And that's where it hurts us.
I mean, I said it last year. A lot of people said this last year. I mean, Willie Martinez might be staring down the barrel of a pink slip. This is egregious. He's a guy that's been at Tennessee multiple times now, and he's a nice guy, and that's great. But his guys stink. His guys stink. What do you want to say? Yeah, you can't watch that and say anything else. But we are time crunch here, and we got to do the sponsor segment. So let's get to this. And it can lead this conversation probably where we were going to go anyway. This is the Better Help. Who can better help Tennessee win this game in the second half? Before we get to it, I got to obviously tell you about the great folks at Better Help. Tennessee fans might need some counseling after this one, depending on what happens in the second half. I got to get the read up here. If you're a Tennessee fan like me and Crump, you know how many years the Big Orange have shaved off your life with the emotional roller coaster of college sports, or maybe the roller coaster of life is messing with your happiness, preventing you from achieving your goals. Regardless, if you have clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety, or if you're just a human being going through a hard time, therapy can give you the tools to approach your life in a different way. And that's where our sponsor BetterHelp comes into play. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable, more accessible. And this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be hard, especially when you're limited to just the options in your area. BetterHelp's platform makes finding a therapist easier. It's online, it's remote. BetterHelp can match you with a professional in as little as a few days. Plus, with our link, betterhelp.com/ATOZ sports, you get 10% off your first month. See a therapist because maintaining your mental health is just as important as maintaining your physical health. BetterHelp.com/ATOZ sports, save 10% off your first month. Cromp, who can, if anyone, better help Tennessee in the second half? Who could be the savior here? You've overcome. I mean, I'll say 2016 was a bigger comeback than this.
Like I said, I'm not saying it's not obtainable. So I'm not going to pick like one player. We just got to freaking tackle. Anybody that wants to tackle, that's who can help us. And I don't care if it's the water boy. Right? Anybody that can tackle, that's who can help us at the moment. And that's just the harsh reality. We're not tackling. I would love to see the numbers on how many rushing yards they have after contact. Right? Because, guys, we cannot score if we're not on the field. And all these play Nico, develop Nico, blah, blah, blah. For what? To go out there against and completely get derailed because our two tackles can't block anybody? That sounds like a great idea, right? I understand everybody wants the quote-unquote next greatest thing. Look at Alabama today. They're on their third quarterback because their quarterback's just not very good, right? I mean, it's just the harsh reality. But they don't. That's a whole different conversation. We may do that at post game.
There's going to be if things continue like they're going right now, it's going to be a pretty interesting post game show for sure.
But we have to understand. We've been on the field for 22 plays. I'm not saying Joe Milton's a Heisman winner, but I can tell you this: he's the same player that Florida had last year for their system in Richardson, right? Hey, I'm not. Florida didn't win a lot. Watch this. Somebody says I'm wrong. Joe isn't making reads, holding on to the ball. The middle of the field is wide open, but he's waiting too long. Okay, do you know how football works? I'm just asking a question. I'm not being condescending. Do you know how our offense works? And I'm not being condescending. That is a legitimate question. We've talked about this in the past. Our offense is 4 option routes, 4 on every play. All right? So the harsh reality of that is you have to hold on to the ball in this offense. Hendon did it last year too. Every quarterback that's going to play in this system is going to do that. That's why, if you notice, that's why we do a long play fake on every pass play almost on purpose to buy a little bit of time to help the O-line out, because every pass route has 4 options. We have to hold on to the ball. So, therefore, no, I'm not wrong is what I'm trying to tell you.
It's got to be a team thing. I mean, obviously
it does.
Joe could play better, but right now in this game, everything starts in these trenches. Everybody's getting eaten up. There's no penetration from the defense. There's nothing with the offense. You're not running the ball, which doesn't help Milton at all. And I mean, you saw Milton on that opening drive, 2 of the best passes he's probably ever made at his time in the University.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, they were absolutely beautiful. And
they were, but it goes
in
back
there.
It's all going to go back to what we've talked about multiple times. We're a run first team. We can't run the ball to save our life, so they're going to pin their ears back and come, so we can't drop back.
Yeah.
That's what hurts our offense. It doesn't matter who's back there. It doesn't matter if Tom Brady or Joe Montana's back there. In our offense, if we cannot run the ball to help our play action game, that's not what we do. It's just not. So that's what's hurting us, because now we're at the position where we can't really take the time to run the ball. You know what I mean? We've got to get back in this game. So we've got to start fast right now, coming out of the second half, try to get a 3 and out, get back on the board to make this a 1-score ball game really quick.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean, that's how we have to do it.
So, well, here's our second segment of halftime, brought to you by Zen Sports. I mean, basically, this is supposed to be, will Tennessee hit the line? I mean, Tennessee was a 6.5-point favorite coming into this, something like that. I think the real question is, will Tennessee win at all, or even make it close? Is a real question, but we'll talk about that right after I tell you about Zen Sports. It's football season. It's time to switch to Zen Sports, the fastest growing sports book in Tennessee, changing the bonus game with their cash rewards program. When you sign up for Zen Sports with code A2ZTN, earn a welcome bonus that gives you 5% cash back on your total betting volume for your first 15 days of betting. It is an insane deal. And if you have friends who bet on sports, share your Zen Sports referral code with them, and then you'll earn 3% of their betting volume for their first 6 months of betting with Zen Sports. And you have no cap on how much you can earn. What are you waiting for? Stop wasting time and money on other sports books when you could be earning real cash rewards with Zen Sports. Download today on the App Store or at zensports.com, and your wallet will thank you later. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older to bet in the state of Tennessee. Zen Sports. Yeah, let's keep it simple. Is Tennessee even going to get in the stratosphere here in the second half, Crump? I mean, it's realistically.
I think the first couple minutes of the second half is going to tell us all. If we get back in the game, we got to score a couple times real quick and hold them to nothing. If not, then no. I've seen a couple of comments that I just want to talk about real fast. It says, talking about even Graham Mertz making plays with his feet from the pocket collapses. Stop making excuses for Joe. One, I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you how it is in that sense. I'm over it. This is the last straw. I think Joe should run more. The thing that we're doing to let Mertz get out there is our DNs are collapsing down, giving him outside. Their DNs are going up the field because they know that he doesn't want to run up in the middle. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Florida defensively is just getting after our rear end, because the very next comment I'm about to read is it seems like the whole team doesn't have a drive to win today. And I totally agree with that. It just seems like we're very after the first drive on offense, it seems like we were like, oh, we've arrived type mentality, and then got hit in the mouth. And now it's like, oh, crap, kind of got deflated. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, it feels, this is super similar to just that South Carolina game last year. Obviously, they didn't get it together in the second half in that South Carolina game.
Yeah.
And it just, the defense in particular just looks so similar. Now, in that one, the offense did kind of hold up there into the bargain a little bit more than the offense is tonight. Obviously,
yes.
I mean, Milton isn't Hooker, and he's not going to be, but I don't know. That this one is tough. I think ultimately this is going to be a complete embarrassment.
It could be.
I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. That's just the way that this game looks. I think a lot of people in the comments would probably agree with me. I think if you get maybe one bright spot here for the folks in the comments, because I know what the folks in the comments want. If you get down by enough, you might actually see Nico.
And you really might. But honestly, hey, they also might skip him to not get him hurt.
That's true. Because you might.
Because I do see a comment. Yeah. Mr. Jones says, well, Tua was a freshman. Yeah, but Tua's situation was different. He had 4 first-round draft picks at receiver that year.
It's not going to be as easy.
I'm saying there was a difference on the team.
Trevor Lawrence. A lot of people bring up Trevor Lawrence.
He had 2 first-round tailbacks and 4 first-round receivers. His situation was slightly different because he didn't have to have the game on his back. Nico, if we put him in, is going to have the game on his back. That's the difference.
He is a gamer, and everybody.
No, he is. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying, as a young kid in that environment right now, down by 19, it's not the most ideal situation.
It's not
to just throw him in. Yes, he can run. I agree. It's just a matter of, do you really want to go out there and take a chance at this moment when we don't have a surefire playmaker around him that goes, if it breaks down, throw him the ball.
Yeah, you're just really running the risk of,
I guess that's my whole point is with a player like him, you want to make sure you develop him. Now, if he came in and he won the job in camp, that's a totally different story. You see what I'm saying? Like, that would be totally different. But if we're really going to talk about let's throw him in, dude, we don't have a surefire first rounder around him like Alabama had with Tua.
Yeah, you don't want to Nathan Peterman him.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened to Nathan Peterman. He came in, he was deer in headlights, just got crushed, and it honestly probably affected his career going forward from there. So we'll see. I said, the win in 2016, you came back for more than this. You came back from 21 down, you're down by 19, but it's not exactly a great place to start.
I guess I kind of want to say this before we have to go. It's really annoying that these subpar quarterbacks that Florida has recently, and we make them look like Heisman candidates.
Oh my gosh!
I guess that's where my frustration comes in. Is like, Mertz is very average, but by God, he's playing lights out tonight.
Got him over there with the freaking pip stick on the sideline, doing all this goofy nonsense, and this dude couldn't hit the broadside of a barn 2 weeks ago. It's unbelievable.
That's where my frustration comes in, but. Who knows? They're about to kick off. Let's all hope for the best, but let's be ready for a realistic, honest conversation after the game.
All right, we will reconvene. Be there, be square. Whatever ends up happening, we'll be back after the game right here on the A to Z Sports Nashville YouTube channel. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to y'all in just a bit.